Hi everybody, Cynthia here. Welcome back to the 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween. This week we are on number 3 and I'm just doing a simple 5.25. No, I lied. 5.5 by 5.5 greeting card. And I was inspired by a card I saw in the Paper Ensembles book by Paper Crafts. And there's so many projects that I have on what I call my crafty bucket list that I want to do. And cards, I mean, I have a ton of cards on my list that I haven't even gotten to yet. I really want to do a lot of those. So I was thinking after my 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween, I might start like a crafty bucket list inspired card kind of thing. Series, so we'll see how it goes, but I was inspired by the card on page 165. It says, "Please come for coffee." I thought this was a really cute layout, so I did something similar but with a Halloween theme, and that's how mine turned out. So the paper that I used is from the Recollections Boo collection. I used some paper from the 6x6 paper pad, and then the polka dot paper here is from the 12x12 paper pad. And then the stamps that I did here, like the spider webs that I off stamped, those were from the stamp set. I think it's called Happy Hauntings, from Graphic 45. I used the spider web here. And then the cat and the pumpkin I used from a Studio 112 stamp set. Doesn't have a name. Really, really cute. And then the Trick or Treat sentiment came from this Inkadinkadoo set. And this one's called Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve. So those are the stamp sets because I have been asked that before and forgot to mention them. And this is the paper I'm using. And this is how it turned out. Pretty simple. We're going to pop it up on foam and then that's the inside. Okay, so let's get started. You're going to need a paper for your base of your card that measures 5.5 by 11. You're going to line it up at the 11 inches and you're going to score at 5.5. Okay, I'm going to move my scoreboard here and let me fold my paper in half on my score line. Okay, and I already have my pieces cut out for us to put it together. Okay, so for your inside piece where you're going to have your sentiment, you need a paper that measures 5.25 by 5.25. So let's flip that open and we'll do the inside first. Get that all decorated. Oh, and this one I actually inked up the inside with some black soot ink, distress ink. So let me do that really quick. Just ink up my edges here. Okay. And then add my glue. I did all my stamping ahead of time so that I wouldn't take a whole lot of your time up in the video. Okay. Just gonna line this up. Let me turn my light on so I can see what I'm doing, guys. There we go. Getting a little darker in the evening here. Okay, so that's the inside. And then on the corners here, as you can see, I punched my corners out with a decorative edge. And that one I used from the Paper Studio corner punch. Okay, so now let's decorate the front of our card. The pattern piece in the back measures 5.25 by 5.25. Just gonna add some glue. kind of line it up. I cut it smaller so it would have a nice black border around the edges. Okay, so the piece that goes across here, I used my Fiskars punch for the edge. So when I measured it, it measured at 3 inches. And then I punched my decorative edge. If you don't have a decorative edge or scissors, once you punch the decorative edge, it came out to measure about 2 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so if you just want to do a regular piece without a decorative edge, just measure it 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. If you want to punch a decorative edge, just measure it 3 by 5 3/8. And like I said, I use my Fiskars edge punch for it. And then the piece that we're going to add inside here, that measures 2 by 5 3/8. So I'm actually going to put that piece on first, and then we'll add it to the card. It's a simple card, but it's really cute, and you could do it for any theme that you wanted. I have a little bit of a black edge here, so I'm just going to trim that off a little bit. Okay, so when I add it to my card from the bottom opening here, I'm going to want to go up about 1/2 inch and then lay my belly band down. Okay, so that I'm just going to eyeball. About 1/2 inch up from the bottom. And lay that down. Okay, so now we have this piece which has a black border around it and then the stamped front. So the black border piece measures 4.5 by 2.5. And then the piece on the front that you can stamp on measures 4 3/8 by 2 3/8. I'm just going to add some glue here. To this piece. Make sure that's laying properly. And then what I did is I added some foam to the back piece already, and I'm going to use some hot glue. So when I go to add the piece on, I'm just going to leave a little bit of this border down here, as you can see. And I'm going to move over about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to leave on this side, and that's where I'm going to add my piece. Just a little bit of hot glue on the back. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to want to make my bow for over here, and I just used some of this Offray ribbon that I had in my stash. I don't know if it has the I can't read the sizes on here, but I've had it for so long. It's like a really pretty orange satin. So I'm just going to make my bow. And I've already got my button that's going to go in the center. And I had finished that off with some black and white twine. And all I did was make a bow like this, and I kind of put it on the card to see, you know, if I liked the size of it, and then just cut this off. Okay, I'm probably going to want to twist this around there a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off my edges here. And then I always like to seal my edges, so with some kind of heat. I just use a little bit of a lighter, but you guys seal it with whatever you want. If you use a lighter, please be careful. You don't want to start anything on fire. Okay, so I'm going to lay my card right about there. Some hot glue to the back of my ribbon. You guys might be able to hear my cat downstairs, Watson. It's like kind of meowing down there for me. Like, what are you doing, Mom? Okay. And then, like I said, I already finished off my black button with some black and white twine, made a little bow. I'm just going to add some hot glue to the back of that. And then put it in the center of my bow here. And that's it, guys. That is our Halloween card. Kind of cute, right? And like I said, if you don't like Halloween, you can pretty much do this design for any theme that you wanted. And it makes a quick, cute, and simple card. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a wonderful weekend.